Good morning, everyone. Happy Wednesday. Happy hump day.
Hump day.
Hump day.
Mike.
We are awake and alive over here, as you can see.
My third cup of coffee.
Oh, see, you can have 3. I don't think I'm allowed 3.
Sorry. I'm not trying to rub it in.
I'm just like baby sips, you know what I mean? Oh my gosh, this morning I was on the phone with my sister. So my sister just had a baby, as I've talked about on here. So has a soon-to-be 3-year-old, not 3 yet.
Okay.
And a newborn, very new. Like she's in week 2.
Right.
Okay? And it's just like, it's been amazing because we were pregnant together and stuff. But then all of her birthing traumas and like all of those like newborn, like, it's a huge life adjustment, a lot of postpartum stuff going on. And I'm like, oh God. And you like want to be there and listen and hear everything. But then you're also like, I'm so close to doing this myself that I'm like, I feel a little anxious. And she texted me the other day and she was like, hey, so they actually took pictures during my delivery and they're like pretty graphic, but really cool. Do you want to see? And I was like, and typically I'd be like, totally. Like I was there for her first birth. Like I watched her first birth, which was like epic. And this is before I had a kid. So it was like, I was like,
wow.
But it was like magical and amazing.
Yes.
But now I was like, it's a beautiful thing. I know it is. I was like, but I think I might need to wait on that one until after the baby comes.
You're like, it's too close for comfort for me.
Yeah, it's just way too close for comfort.
Yeah,
it's just triggering feelings of anxiety.
Wow. So who took pictures?
I think her couldn't have been her doula because I actually don't know. That's a really good question.
Because I had my mom and my husband there.
Yes.
And both were very focused during the birthing process, which was great.
Yes.
And then afterwards, like, I had to be like, Mom, take some pictures. Like, I just had the baby. Like, I want the, like, first post things. And she was like, are you sure? And I was like, yes, I'm sure.
I know. You just kind of want people to, like, do it, don't you?
You're like,
you don't want
I don't have to ask twice. Like, I just want it, like, done.
I know.
Because worst comes to worst, you delete them. It's not like it's...
Totally. I had that conversation with my husband before I went into labor, and I was like, just feel free to, if there's an appropriate moment, to document anything, because I don't think you're going to regret having those keepsakes.
Right.
Further down. And yes, if there's something a little too compromising in there, then you can just delete it.
Or crop it, or do whatever you want.
Crop it. Yeah. Lots of cropping. Yeah. But my husband actually set up, I don't even know if we were allowed to do this. He set up the camera on like one side of the room, so it wasn't like that direct shot. Direct shot. It was like on the side. Oh. So it's a kind of a beautiful shot of like the baby coming out from the side and coming onto me.
That's really cool.
Yes, and we had a cool Pandora station going of Madeline Peru, and so I couldn't remember what song was playing when she was born. But it was Bewitched, Bothered, and Bewildered. Really. Yeah, and so it was kind of special to like look back on that because it's not too in your face, but it shows the moment in a way that you're like, oh.
That's cool.
Yeah.
What creative types.
I love
it.
Yeah, I don't know if we were allowed
Camera
to do
angles, I'm so into that. That's awesome.
I don't think he meant to either. He's not like that savvy with like picture taking.
I'll give him credit for it. It's fine. It's totally fine.
Most of the time his like big head was in the way anyway, but
Not when it mattered.
Not when it mattered.
So that's the important part.
There, yeah. So, all these baby topics. Sorry.
So many baby topics.
Can't help it. We're moms. We're mamas.
Indeed.
But now we're going to totally shift gears.
Shifting.
Which is what we like to do over here.
Don't shift with my left hand. Shift with my right.
Yeah, we're not in England.
I cannot drive. I don't think I could drive stick on the left.
I don't know how my husband can like switch back and forth.
Yeah.
It's crazy to me.
That's insane.
I'd be in the wrong lane like all the time.
Right. I mean, even more so like the hand, but having to the gas and the clutch like with the other foot and hard pass.
Yeah. Oh my, yeah, no. Nope.
Yeah.
Don't even want to try.
Anyway,
not worth it.
Switching gears.
Completely switching gears.
Again.
Yeah, again. Sorry. We digress. Okay. Beware new crypto app scams. FBI says investors have lost millions. This is from money.com.
Yep.
So a random message that claims to be from a trading app might be a scam. These scammers are getting more and more savvy, better at what they do, better at hiding themselves behind big corporations and logos that are pre-existing that you feel that you trust.
Yeah. And spending time instead of just sending an email, like they're creating an entire app that feels and looks like, you know, a well-known app or feels like it's associated with a well-known company.
Right. And they had been doing that with websites and now it's evolving to apps.
Right. Which I guess isn't that, I would imagine, I'm not a
crypto scammer?
I'm not a crypto scammer. I am not
an app
developer or a website developer. Like that is not my forte. But I would imagine if you have the technical skills to do one, you could do the other, or pivot and learn how to do the other, well enough.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's crazy. They say that over $42 million, almost $43 million has been lost to fake crypto apps.
Yeah.
In the last year.
Yeah, that's rough. And as we've learned in the crypto world, it's harder to find that money once it's gone.
Yeah.
You know?
I think what's interesting too is that the FBI said that it's only 244 people who have lost that amount of money.
Yeah.
Which is insane to me that like you would imagine at $43 million almost, it would be a ton. Yeah, like 1,000 people or so, and nope, it's only 244. So it's interesting.
Yeah, that is interesting. I mean, they give you some tips as to how to avoid these scammers, and one is to be suspicious.
Ooh, they used a lot of good language in this. It was be suspicious, be leery, be wary. It was like every tip had like, I was like, ooh, they're English.
Yeah, we're like crypto spies now. So you want to independently verify that the app is associated with a financial institution you trust. And you can do that by calling them directly or doing a separate browser search not associated with the app. Right. So just do the extra legwork to make sure that these are legit because they're getting better.
Yeah. They're getting savvier.
They're getting more and more savvy. Okay, if you are receiving an email of someone claiming to know you, make sure they are who they say they are.
Yes.
I've even gotten these and I'm not in the crypto world. I'll admit it. I'm not. But I'll get like, scammers hack into people's accounts and then email people. And like, I've gotten like emails saying, hey, I meant to send you these pictures from the other night. And it was actually someone I hung out with the other night. And I'd be like, oh, but even I'm very suspicious.
She's very leery.
Very leery.
I like that.
Be wary of any pitch that guarantees you an outsized return or offers a sign-up bonus or other freebies.
Yeah.
It's probably too good to be true.
Those giveaways, they're probably too good to be true.
Yes. So just look out for yourself. Be suspicious, be wary.
And if you feel like you've already fallen for something, contact your local FBI office. Like we've talked about before, it's hard to recover the
crypto
monies,
losses. Yeah.
But at least you can hopefully prevent it from happening to somebody else.
Yes. Well, we're going to take a quick commercial break, but we'll be right back with more hot topics. And don't forget, it's Healthy Wealthy Wednesday. See you in a sec. Welcome back, everyone. Don't you worry, we have another hot topic for you if you were concerned.
I'm sure you were very concerned.
Need not. Okay. So young adults tend to stay close to the nest. This is from the Wall Street Journal. And they say that 80% of young adults at age 26 had moved less than 100 miles of where they grew up, and only 10% moved more than 500 miles. This is all very much, though, depends. The results varied massively based on parental income, race, and ethnicity.
Yes.
So people that come from higher income families were more likely to say bye-bye. Yeah. See ya. I'm going to go experience the world in another country.
Or a different coast,
Or a different coast.
Right?
Having
the means to have a family member probably help out a little bit,
yes.
I would imagine.
Yeah.
With those higher costs.
Yes.
Or being able to, find yourself. I don't know, whatever you're doing. I did not get to do that, but that's fine.
Yeah, I guess, I was reading and I was like, I guess I did move far away because I moved to New York straight after I graduated from high school.
Right.
So I was one of those.
Yeah, you were one of the 10%ers.
Yeah, I was in the 10%. I was like, bye-bye.
And I was like, oh, wow, that's crazy that's such a high number of people who stay so close. And I was like, I was one of those people.
Yeah.
I only moved 25 miles away to San Francisco. It felt like a totally different place, but it really
But what's
wasn't
interesting,
that far.
though, is you were from, a coast anyway, so you sort of, had access to, more of a city life. I mean, really, I only had Detroit, but at that time, there was just nothing,
Not a lot of musical theater in Detroit at that time.
No, there wasn't anything really calling me to Detroit. Yeah, so I feel you kind of had those opportunities around you, a little closer to home, right?
Yeah. I mean, it was nice. It was close enough where I could go home, I could see my family, but far enough where I didn't see them all that often.
Yes.
It was a very, probably saw them less than my parents would have liked, but probably the right amount of for me.
But in their minds, they're at least there's a sense of, I don't know, you feel like you're close.
Right.
So
yes,
they probably feel more at peace just knowing that they need to access you.
Yeah. And I think it was also one of those things where, and this is probably a very California thing, but you think about earthquakes happening. And so I was always very cognizant of okay, it's only 25 miles away to my parents' house.
Sure.
That was our earthquake or natural disaster meeting point, was my parents' house. And so
we planned it out.
It was planning. So it was okay, it might take
now it's wildfires.
Right.
Yeah.
It might take me 12, 15 hours to get there, but I knew on foot I could get to my parents' house.
Right.
And then when I moved across the bay to Oakland, it was this whole, it was a mental thing where I was oh my gosh, what would happen?
Right.
Because in the 89 earthquake, the Bay Bridge fell apart. I mean, parts of it, not all the whole thing, but that was super scary. So
earthquakes to me are something from a film. We had tornadoes. That was our thing.
Which are way scarier.
But to me, an earthquake is it's the earth splits and everything is falling into the abyss. It's literally out of a film in my head. I'm earthquake? That sounds so crazy to me. That's very scary.
But I think it's interesting. I mean, to your point, depending on the economic level of the parents and also, race. So at that higher level, whites moved 190 miles away versus Hispanics 160 versus blacks were 130 miles away. So people do technically stay closer, just depending on their ethnicity too. And I think that also, I think it's an interesting point. And I think one of the interesting parts about this whole article is that it was done by policymakers. Because what they want to do when they're raising wages in a particular socioeconomic area is that they want to make sure that the people who are from there
live there, it's
benefiting those people.
Yes.
Versus people coming in for those jobs.
Right. So, which based on the survey, it actually is.
Right.
So this was, probably a positive learning.
Yeah. And they took all this from the census. So that was the other interesting part. I was oh my God, the census is so exciting.
Yeah, I know.
But I don't know. I think that there's definitely something to be said about being closer to home and being able to access home.
Yeah.
But
Well, and I feel like we've talked about this before, but I think just like culturally, that used to be more of what people did. Like you'd stay home, and you know, when you had kids, you'd have help, and it's like a community that you're building.
Yeah.
And that's sort of changing now that, you know, especially like women are, you know, starting careers for themselves, and people are just venturing out and starting lives of their own that, you know, don't necessarily take the same shape as like what their families was. So it's changing. But now that I'm having kids, I'm like, I can understand staying home. I can get it now. I can get on board with that. But alas, here we are alone on the East Coast. Having 2 kids. Yeah.
And I do wonder, like, it is really interesting at 26 that people stay closer to home. But what happens when somebody's 36? Because I do feel like, you know, during those 20s, you might be staying closer to home because that's where your job opportunities are. But after you have a little bit of your career under your belt, you might have opportunities that take you other places.
Totally. I mean, people are getting married later, those who are, and if they are having children later as well. So you just don't really know, like, what's going to happen. I know. It is interesting. 26.
26. It's such a young age, it feels like.
Yes, it feels very long ago.
But I felt so old at 26.
That's the thing. I do remember, going past 25 and thinking, oh, I'm over the hill. Silly me. Anyway, all right, we're going to take a quick commercial break, but don't worry, we will be right back with Healthy Wealthy Wednesday. Welcome back, everyone. This is my favorite day of the week. Yours is Tuesday, mine's Wednesday, because I like Healthy Wealthy Wednesday with Hillary. So come on, help improve our financial wellness with your brilliant advice, please.
Well, today's Healthy Wealthy Wednesday tip is to put extra money into your savings account when you have it. So, you know, you might have a windfall like, I don't know, Mega Millions. No, I'm just kidding. Or maybe
straight to that savings account.
Or maybe you get a bonus.
Sure.
Maybe you are switching jobs and you are making more money now. Put more money into your savings and your other retirement accounts in order to be able to save for the future. You know, whether it's a long-term savings, maybe it's a short-term sink fund, whatever the case may be. We've talked about setting up different savings accounts for your different needs, but make sure when you do have a little bit more money or more cash on you, go ahead and put that in your savings account while you can.
Even if it's that $100 you found on the street.
Exactly. Maybe you can spend like 10 of it and then put the rest of the 90 in the bank.
Totally. Love it. And now is the time if you can. Although I know it's hard.
Yes.
That extra cash flow is like probably making up for inflation, but you know.
But if you can.
Put it away. And pretend it's not there.
Exactly.
Because it'll be there later when you're retiring.
And when you really need it.
When you really need it and want it, right? All right. I also want to remind everyone, this will help with your financial wellness as well. Financial wellness as well. Don't forget to watch today's episodes of Estate Planning 101, the blockchain interviews, the business of, the best, and Root Financial. All of our shows are the best. Are you kidding?
It's true.
It's true. You can catch them all on ROI TV. Where exactly?
Roku, Amazon Fire TV, Apple TV, or on your device, whether it's an Android or Apple. We're also available now on Distro TV, so look for us under the business section. Thank you so much for joining us on another episode of Coffee with Kem Hills. We'll see you tomorrow, Thursday, our last episode of the week. Woo! What? This week has flown by. Crazy. With another big old cup of coffee.